Wiglaf stands with his back to the subterranean river, the sound of the boat thunking against the rocky shore just behind his heels. Griff growls beside Wiglaf as he holds his torch in one hand and spear in the other, and Wiglaf stands facing off against a pale-skinned woman who is in the thrall of the husk and is wielding a hand axe and has started to attack him, and we are in a combat. Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is Ironsworn, Antarctica. In our last session, Wiglaf searched the secret door from which he had been jumped by the zealots, and he figured out how to close it and open it, and so he dragged it mostly closed. I did make a mistake. When I did this, I did a secure advantage, and I did the old way, even though the new way is written in here, of either taking +2 momentum or +1 on the next move. And I think I just took +2 momentum. Didn't matter because I missed the next move by more than one. We then delved the depths. We got a miss, which meant that we were attacked by another zealot. I tried to resolve that as a single battle. We got another miss. Wiglaf lost that fight, and he had to run away. And the zealot chased him down the hall and then slammed the door shut and locked it. And then I decided what the zealot's going to do is go and get more zealots to help and track Wiglaf down. And I was going to do this thing where each time he encountered a denizen, there was going to be an increasing chance that he was encounter an increasingly large number of zealots who had come from behind him to attack. But we then secured advantage and delved the depths and got a couple of strong hits, including with a match. And Wiglaf was able to fake a trail through the fallen rocks from the trap that had almost hit him, and outside, and footprints outside, and paw marks outside, and a burnt out torch to make it look like he had run out of the cave. He also managed to, in the next section, find a secret trap door that led down this twisting sloped corridor and some maybe rough stairs into a lower level. And then as we explored this lower level, we found a ghost that warned us there was danger, and then we found an underwater waterway that had a boat, and Wiglaf decided to cross the waterway and see what was across it, and came up with a thrall. The thrall is in the control of the husk Valeri, who is running this part of the death cult. Wiglaf was able to sort of get her to become herself again briefly, and she begged Wiglaf to either kill her or kill the husk. And Wiglaf said, "Okay, I'll kill the husk. Tell me where he is." We got a miss on that, and the husk's power took back over, and she attacked him. And we entered the fray, and we burned momentum to get a weak hit. And Wiglaf has initiative for the next for this round, because on a weak hit you can either take +2 momentum or take initiative, and we chose to take the initiative. We have currently only 2 momentum, so we're at the reset level. That's not great. So we're basically going to have to fight this husk this thrall rather, without being able to burn momentum, at least for a while, until we get some strong hits and build some momentum. But we do have the initiative. So now Wiglaf's got a torch, and his shield slung over his back, so he doesn't have a shield to protect him, but he doesn't have a shield asset, so it doesn't really have a mechanical effect, just a narrative one. And Wiglaf is going to start to attack. And I think he's going to attack with the torch. But before we do that, I just want to take a couple of housekeeping things. One, with all of our misses, we're now at 5 progress on the failure track. So once we get to 7 or 8, I'm going to go ahead and make a roll, because we have a really high chance of at least a weak hit. That will gain us some experience. Maybe we can upgrade one of our assets. The other thing I do want to mention, if we go to the session notes, is I made that mistake here. I think I made another mistake somewhere down. So back down in here, I think I said I was supposed to take an extra momentum, and I didn't, or I can't remember. I don't think it matters, because I don't think it would have mattered when we burned the momentum here, right? I think I had one too many momentum, but when I burned the momentum here, I was well over the 1 die that we burned out anyway. And so I don't think it actually mattered. So I had it written down here, and then I think I deleted it because it didn't matter. But I know occasionally I make mistakes and forget to add +1s, or I add +1s on the wrong move. And it's never intentional. It's always accidental. Um, all right, so we have entered the fray. We are in combat. And now when we have initiative, we can strike, face danger, secure advantage, compel. Can't end the fight. So, yet. So I think we're going to strike. And I think what Wiglaf's going to do is he's going to use the torch. And what he's going to try to do is not only burn her with the torch, but see if he can light her on fire. And I think what that means is if we get a strong hit, he will. If we get a weak hit, he'll just burn her, and that's it. And if we get a miss, he's going to like drop the torch or something. So Wiglaf lunges forward, Griff growls and kind of circles around behind to flank her, and Wiglaf, because we have the initiative, and so it sort of flanks her, and she's kind of got to keep both of them in her eye, and Wiglaf feints with the spear and then lunges forward with the torch and tries to get her caught on fire. Not sort of a nice thing to do to somebody he knows is under the control of the husk, I guess, but he's got to do something to defend himself. So we're fighting in close quarters. It's plus iron. We have +3, no additional bonuses or penalties. And we roll a 4 plus 3 is 7 against double ones. That is a matched strong hit. So I think, so this is going to get us a bonus. So first we inflict a harm and +1 harm. Right? So let's go ahead and inflict the harm on the progress track. So again, we remember we get, let me see if I can make a thicker line. Here we go. We get 2 progress per harm. We do 1 harm for the hit and 1 harm for the +1. We don't get our spear bonus because we didn't use the spear to attack. So we've made 4 progress. And we got a strong hit, which means we retain the initiative and an unforeseen thing happens. So I think she does start burning. And then she starts crying for help, that the possession of the husk retreats, and she screams and she says, "That's it, kill me, just let me die." So now Wiglaf is kind of stuck here because he doesn't actually want to kill this woman, right? Because he knows she's under the possession of the husk. So I think what he's going to do is face danger here. And what he's going to try to do is with, I think this is with speed. He's going to quickly move forward, and I think he's going to let the torch drop, not enough to go out, but just to leave it sputtering on the ground. He's going to unsling his shield, and then he's going to use his shield and kind of like try to embrace this woman and smother the flames, because he doesn't actually want to kill the innocent person. And we're going to face danger, rolling plus edge. And let me just check with that strike. Did we get any momentum? No, we just retain initiative. All right, so we're going to face danger plus edge and see if we can put the fire out. If we miss, we're not making any progress, but I think, well, I know what'll happen if we miss. All right, so we roll. That's good. We roll a 5 plus 3 is 8. Oh, against double 8s. Man, this is not only a miss, but a match miss. So I think he puts the fire out. He lets go of her. And she goes, "Ugh," and she's back to being under the control of the husk. "You thought that you had saved her, but you have not." And she attacks him. And she hits him. I think she's going to hit him with the axe. So we're going to pay the price. So let's go to pay the price here. And let's do like 2 options. 1 likely. I think likely is it's harmful. And less likely would be a person or community you care about. Okay, so maybe she attacks Griff. Maybe she attacks Wiglaf. I think she's more likely to attack Wiglaf. We're going to call that likely. We roll a 33. So yes. So Wiglaf gets hit by her, and this is 2 harm, right? So he takes 2 health because she's dangerous, and he's going to have to endure harm. So she cuts him across the chest and gouges into his armor. He only has hide armor, and draws blood, and he gasps in surprise, and she steps back and cackles and laughs evilly. And now we have to endure harm. So we have 3 health, and let's see, endure harm. So we can roll plus iron or plus health. They're both +3. So we're rolling at +3. And let's hope we get lucky. We roll, oh gosh, a 1 + 3 is 4 against a 7 and a 10. That's a miss. So we suffer -1 momentum. So, yeah, he is cut very deeply across the chest and he starts bleeding. And Griff kind of whines. We lose 1 momentum. And that is not good. And we've missed there. So that's 2 misses. Well, our failure track is growing. Somebody in the Discord for Ironsworn was saying he's failed so many times that he's made more rolls on the failure track than on his Iron Vow tracks. He's got tons of experience from it. Okay, so we're going to go back to our combat. And she has the initiative. And I think, so she's going to come at him, right? She's already attacking him. And we're going to, so we already endured harm, so we can face danger again, right? We don't do 2 moves in a row, but we endured harm, so that's a move in between. So we're going to face danger. So Wiglaf, she comes at him, and Wiglaf backs up. He can't go too far because the water is behind him, and he's going to hold her at bay with the spear and use his reach to kind of keep her out of the way so that she can't hit him with a hand axe. We're going to roll plus iron. So if we score a hit, we can make another move now at +1. If we get lucky, we have no momentum at all. And so we're facing danger. Let me just bring up the table here at plus iron. 4 + 3 is 7. Against a 7 and a 1, it's a weak hit. So we did score a hit. We can make another move now at +1 so we can clash. So you get a weak hit. We succeed, but we can suffer a momentum, endure harm or stress, or suffer 1 supply. I think we're going to lose momentum, unfortunately. So we're at 0 momentum, which is not good. Yeah, this one person was saying at one point that they were at -6 momentum, which is as bad as you can be. So we're not good. We don't have initiative yet. And we're going to have to see if we can clash. Now, again, this is, remember, a house-ruled version. So we could potentially take the initiative back if we get at least a weak hit. But we get +1 in this roll. And so Wiglaf says, Griff, get her, and tries to get Griff to bite her from behind as he steps forward. He's got his shield out now. And he's going to try to jam her with the spear and hold his shield out to protect himself. So we're rolling plus iron at +1, so it's +4. We get 2 + 4 is 6 against an 8 and a 4. It is a weak hit. We're going to inflict our harm. And that means we do harm for the spear and harm for the default, right? So you get 1 harm for hitting and 1 harm for the spear. Now, the reason I did that is because we're going to need the initiative, but we need enough progress to make it so that we can finish the fight. Otherwise, we're going to have to strike again, but we don't. So Wiglaf, actually, let's say this. Wiglaf doesn't really hit well with the spear. He gets her a little bit in the shoulder, but Griff clamps his, because she's not watching, Griff clamps his jaws on her leg and pulls her back and causes her to stagger a little bit. Since she has the initiative, let's see what she's going to do. I really should have probably done that before, but that's okay. So let's have her do a combat action. What's she going to do in response? 29. Shift focus to something else. She turns around. Griff bites her in the ankle. She turns around, and she is going to attack Griff next. So if we miss, Griff's going to be the one that pays the price. We're going to have to do companion, endure harm, or something like that. But now I think what Wiglaf's going to do is, we haven't had to do this yet, is turn the tide. Once per fight, you can risk it all and steal the initiative from your foe. When you do, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. So we add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. So we're going to try to steal the initiative back from her. So this is facing danger. So Wiglaf is going to, now that she's distracted by Griff, Wiglaf is going to do what's kind of become his patented move. He's going to run up behind her and try to shield bash her on the back of the head with his shield and see if he can turn the tide. So he's doing this, I think, with aggressive action plus iron. We get +1 to this, so it's +4. And we roll. A 1 again. +4 is 5, but it's against a 3 and a 7. It is a weak hit. So let's see. What does that mean? So we get a weak hit. We're going to have to do something about that, but well, I think we need a strong hit on this. So let me pause and read this. Okay, so I did this wrong. Turn the tide actually allows you to give yourself initiative, and then you can make a strike, which we didn't do, right? So we got a +1 on that. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to sort of do this whole thing over. He's going to strike with the shield. So let's just retcon that. And he's going to strike with the shield instead of facing danger. So basically, we now, because we've turned the tide, we now have the initiative. I thought you could get the initiative if you got a strong hit, but you could do that without turning the tide, right? I completely screwed that up. So if you read this here, you take the initiative to make a move. The move can be whatever's appropriate for the circumstance, likely strike or secure an advantage. Roll for the move and add +1. So let's try this again and do it properly. So Wiglaf is going to strike her in the back of the head with his spear, or with his. Well, let's do it differently. Let's say he upends the back end of his spear and tries to clock her on the back of the head with the spear. And this is a strike. And so we're rolling plus iron here. I don't remember what we rolled on the last one, so we'll just roll it over again and see what happens. And we get a 3 + 3 is 6 against 7 and 2. It's a weak hit, which is, kind of, yeah. So we inflict our harm but lose the initiative. And I guess now we're getting into sort of the frustrating part of Ironsworn, because unless you can get initiative, you've got to get a strong hit. You can't end a fight. So, so we got a weak hit. We don't have to pay any prices or anything, but we lose the initiative. And we can't turn the tide again, so we basically just have to keep making moves until we gain the initiative, or we have to run away. And, well, we could run down the hall, but it seems sort of silly to run from this fight because we're winning it. And I'm going to say it right here. This is sort of the thing that most frustrates me about Ironsworn. We got 10 progress. All we got to do is be able to gain initiative so that we can end the fight. We will obviously be able to end the fight unless we roll double zeros, and we just can't do it. So, all right, we'll have to try another move and see if we can get a strong hit. So, so now I guess, so we clock her on the back of the head. It hurts her, and she has initiative. So let's see what she's going to do. So that'll help figure this out, I guess. Let's this time do method and target. So combat method will be 71 clash, okay, and target 51 clash ground. That doesn't make any sense. Let's look at 15 clash sense. Okay, so all right, and ground too. All right, so this makes sense. So the thrall reaches down, picks up the torch, and tries to burn Wiglaf's eyes with it. And Wiglaf sees her doing this, and he sort of tries to back away again. And he's going to face danger with his spear and see if he can hold her at bay, right? Let's use our skirmisher trait and keep her at bay. Now we're doing, I want to say, let's see. I guess this is plus iron, right? Because he's forcefully defending himself. I don't feel like it's speed or agility because he's holding her at bay. I feel like this is plus iron. So plus 3. 3 + 3 is 6 against a 9 and a 2. Another weak hit. So he succeeds at keeping her at bay, but suffers a troublesome cost. So let me think. All right, so I think since he keeps her at bay, she turns and uses the torch to try to burn Griff and light his fur on fire, and Wiglaf shouts, "No! leave him alone, and is dispirited or afraid. He's afraid for Griff, and he's going to endure 1 stress. So we'll take 1 spirit off. And we're getting to the point where we might have to run from this battle. And endure stress. If we can't get a strong hit on something, plus heart or plus spirit, they're both +4. 3 plus 4 is 7 against a 9 and a 3. The dice are not nice to me today. That's a weak hit, so we press on. So Wiglaf is now going to, I guess, clash with her. Because we can't, in combat, you can't compel without the initiative. We could disengage. This is a house rule. But I think let's try to win this fight. I mean, we're so close on the progress. Let's see if we can win one more time. So he's going to lunge forward with his shield and try to bash her again. And we roll. A 1 plus 3 is a 4 against a 6 and a 3. It's another weak hit. So we gain the initiative but pay the price. That's the option I'm going to take here. And this is why I house ruled this, guys. You're now seeing in this battle why I house ruled this. Because if I hadn't house ruled it, this was the original rule, right? We would inflict our harm, but if you go to the progress track, there is no harm left to inflict. And so this would basically count as a miss. Because you can't inflict harm anymore, at the end of the battle, after you've inflicted tons of harm, you inflict harm but it doesn't do anything, and you have to both lose the initiative and pay the price. I don't think that makes sense, and so we're going to use our house rule. We're going to sacrifice safety to gain the upper hand. We gain the initiative but pay a price. So I think the price is going to be Companion Endure Harm because she's trying to burn Griff. So we'll do Companion Endure Harm, and she will do 2 harm to Griff. Right, so that's the price. He hits her, but it's too late to save Griff from getting burned in Griff's fire. Griff's fur starts to catch fire, and he whines, and he gets hurt. And then if we go back to Companion Endure Harm, they suffer minus health equal to the amount of damage inflicted. Roll plus heart, or your companion's plus health, so his plus heart is +4. 5 plus 4 is 9 against a 10 and a 4. It is a weak hit. They're battered. They can still help. So Griff is hurt, but Wiglaf manages to bash her on the back of the head, and then he is going to reach around with his spear and kind of choke her and try to choke her until she loses consciousness. And this is our attempt to end the fight because we have 10 progress. And the way these dice are rolling, it will probably be in this. But let's see what happens. We get a 5 and a 1. Finally, we get some help, and we end the fight. So he chokes her out until she loses consciousness, and then he lets her drop. And then he uses his shield to sort of pat out, sort of suffocate the burning bits of Griff's fur, and Griff is sort of whining and hurt. And the thrall is now defeated, and they are out. And so she's unconscious, and he's going to now take out some of his rope and use his spear point to like cut some small parts of the longer piece of rope off and tie her up. And he's going to gag her, and I think he's going to leave her in the boat for now so that she's like down in the boat and nobody sees her. And now we are pretty hurt. So that was quite the fight. And let me pause for just a second to take care of some things, and then I'll be back with a continuation of this episode. All right, so we're back in our delve, and I think both Wiglaf and Griff are hurt. There is a healing move, but I feel like we're going to need some supplies, right? Wiglaf's been cut, Griff's been burned, and I think he's going to want to treat Griff more than himself because he cares about his dog. But we need to have some kind of like a healing ointment or something in our gear. So let's check our gear and see if we have it. The way the dice have been rolling tonight, we probably don't. We are at +3 supply, I believe, if I'm correct. If we look at our character. Yeah, our supply is +3. Yeah, so we're pretty beaten up now. Our supply is +3. let's check our gear and see if we have healing salve or something in the gear. If we do, we can treat Griff here, and then if we get someplace safe, we can treat ourselves. But we can't do both in one place, and I think we're going to treat Griff first. So rolling at +3. We roll another one. 1 + 3 is 4. Against a 7 and a 4, we miss. So the situation grows more perilous. So I think we're going to reveal a danger. Let's see what we get. 44. Check the domain card. So let's go back to our delve and look at 44. A fissure or sinkhole. Okay, so so I guess Griff lays down and he's kind of wounded, and Wiglaf kind of sits on the ground and starts checking his gear to see, did I bring a healing salve? And while he's doing that, the ground where Griff is sitting sort of crumbles, and I guess it wasn't very stable, and Griff falls down into just sort of a depression, and now he's kind of stuck down there, and Wiglaf's going to need to try and pull him up. So Wiglaf goes over to him and he says, Griff, what happened? What happened? And he kind of reaches down and he tries to pull Griff out safely. Let's see if he can do that. I guess that's facing danger. And he's doing it with I guess this is loyalty to Griff? That doesn't make sense. I think this is with agility, right? He's trying to pull Griff out without hurting him further. So rolling plus edge. We have no momentum here, guys. 2 + 3 is 5 against a 3 and a 10. That's a weak hit. So I think he gets Griff out. But he's stressed by the fact that his companion was hurt, right? So he's very upset and stressed about Griff. Guys, I'm starting to think we might have to retreat from this delve because we've made almost no progress on it, and we're really beaten up at this point. We'll try a little further, but if we start getting down to 1 or 2 spirit, 1 or 2 supply, etc., we're going to have to run. So, all right, we have to endure stress. And there we go. So we're rolling it plus heart now because we have more heart than spirit. +4. And we roll another 1 against a 4 and an 8. So it's a 5 against a 4 and an 8. So it's a weak hit. I'm putting this die in dice jail and taking a different 6-sided die out because that thing has rolled too many 1s today. And you know, one of the things I haven't... phase of setback is when momentum is -6. Well, we're not there yet, but we're at 0, which is not good. All right, so I think Wiglaf... Well, they were guarding something here, right? I wonder what it was. So Wiglaf is going to continue forward and see what's in the next area. So we're going to delve the depths. And he's going slowly and carefully here. He's not doing it hastily. And so I guess we're going to roll plus wits. Now, she still didn't tell us where the husk is, so we don't know. And I actually don't want to face the husk right now with 0 momentum. So we got to hope that we gain some momentum at some point. But we're going to delve the depths and see what we can get. And we're going carefully and with observations, and we're only rolling at plus wits. And we roll. A 3 + 2 is 5 against a 7 and a 1. We get a weak hit with wits. And that means we roll on the table, and we get a 49, which is to mark progress. So we enter a new area. So let's figure out what we see. We roll 0, 7. Unnatural. No, blood was spilled here. Okay. So, um, I guess I'm going to call this area. So what's the name of the area? Let's see. Oracles. Aspect 46. Confined. All right, that makes sense. Focus 10. Confined exit. Okay, so this is an exit to this is an exit. So what we found is a secret exit, I think, and we can actually get the heck out of here if we want, and maybe come back through this entrance. Hang on. Let me pause it while I clean up the way this looks, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're back, and we're nearing the end of this episode. So what I think what this is there's a small cave opening here. And, oh, you know what? Griff fell down that fissure, right? I think that leads to an opening. So Wiglaf pulls him out, but then he looks down and he sees there's light. We're now, by the way, guys, if we go to the light regime, right, we're into the area where it's never full night and there's always a little bit of twilight. And it's probably now become like morning of the next day. We're getting into the equivalent of nautical time. He sees a little bit of light, just starlight, moonlight, whatever. And he says, Griff, you may have found something. You may have found an exit. And so he actually moves some of the rocks aside and he uses his rope and he climbs down with Griff carefully this time. And they climb out and they end up on like the other side of the hill from where they started, right? They end up on the other side of the hill on like a ledge, and it's not accessible easily from below, right? There's sort of a ledge of rock and then a sheer drop. And so you can get out, but it won't be easy to like climb down, but it lets him sort of out of this place, at least temporarily, so that he can kind of rest. And I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to stop for the night and kind of rest, and maybe they'll make camp. So they're going to stay here and like make camp for the night, and try to rest and recover. And they're outside, so they're not like subject to the denizens of the delve and stuff, because they've kind of left and they're just sort of on the edge of the cliff. And it's maybe they'll be found, but probably not. And we'll see what happens. So let's make our final move. We'll make camp, and then we can go back into the delve and maybe take the boats or go back up and see what else is out upstairs or whatever. But let's try to rest and recover. Rolling plus supply, which isn't great. We have no momentum. And we roll a 4 plus 3 is 7 against a 7 and a 5. So on a weak hit, we choose 1. We can take plus health, plus spirit, plus momentum, or prepare. I think the momentum's so low already. I think we're going to take plus health for us and our companions, so we heal up a little bit. So we go to 4 health, and Griff goes to 3 health. On our weak hit, we've had very few strong hits. Finally, you're starting to see what real Ironsworn is like, guys. I feel like you haven't seen it yet until this episode, because I've just gotten really lucky with the rolls, but tonight you can see what happens when you just get a chain of weak hit after weak hit after weak hit. And weak hits generally don't get you momentum, and they don't help you in combat as much as strong hits, of course, and you keep losing initiative and ends up being very difficult. But you can at least now see why I changed the clash rules, because if I hadn't done that, we still wouldn't have initiative. We would have never been able to end that battle. And I just feel like narratively that doesn't make any sense. The way I'd been describing it, we had the advantage in that battle, and we should have been able to end it. And not being able to end it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I feel like the house rule worked pretty well there. We're going to get a whole bunch of more boxes on our failure track, and we might even depending on how many misses we had, I'm not sure, get some more experience, right? Because if you look at the learn from your failures, even on a weak hit, you gain 2 experience. You clear all progress, but you gain 2 experience, and that would be enough to upgrade an asset or buy a new one because you already have 1 experience. And of course, you get a strong hit, you get 3 experience, which is quite nice. And you can take a +3 momentum. So yeah, I don't know. We'll check our we'll check and see if we have enough. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we got 8 misses this time. I think we got a lot more weak hits. But if we got enough misses and we get it up to +7, I might take a chance and see if we can roll on our failure track and gain that +3 momentum, as well as gaining some more experience. And with 4 experience, we could upgrade 2 of our assets. We could make Griff furious in combat, which gives us extra momentum, and we could maybe increase Skirmisher when we strike in close combat. We basically, it's like throwing your spear, I guess, because you can have to recover your spear. So I don't know. There's a lot we could do, but so this is a secret exit, and then I just want to label here. This is the hills are up here, and yeah, Wiglaf's probably going to go back into this delve, but we haven't really learned anything new, and we've got a ways to go on this quest. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Ironsworn, Antarctica.